Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So guys, if you remember, this setup was made few months ago. The succulents were really small at that period of time, and now that I'm back, I thought that I'll repot these guys because it looks like they're getting slightly congested in this small container. But I usually do not throw away these containers. I can rather use this for something else, probably some smaller succulents than what these are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pot them in this container. I have this concrete pot that I had made some time ago, and it was just vacant, and I prefer not to have empty pots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in these succulents in this pot, and let's see how they tend to look. Now it's been a while that I have not watered this. As you all know, I was not at home, so this was not watered for a really long time. So whenever you're doing any kind of repotting, ensure that the soil is not wet. In case if you're planning to do a repotting, and if you feel that the succulent is quite dehydrated, the first and the most important thing is you need to hydrate the succulent. Now over here, as you can see, all of these guys are very hydrated, so I'm not much worried. But in case if they were dehydrated, I would have watered them at least 2 or 3 days before, and then wait for the soil to dry and then repot them. So as you can see, the soil is pretty much compact, probably because of not being watered for a really long time, and it was out in direct morning sunlight. Probably that is one of the reason. But the best thing what I liked is I didn't see any kind of mealy bugs. All of these succulents were very healthy. I was quite worried probably I might find some insects, but luckily everything was very clean. The roots were also very clean. There were no insects. So what I'm going to do is I will quickly take out all of the succulents. I'll clean the roots. I will also do a close inspection if there is anything that has to be taken care. But right now when I'm uprooting these guys, I don't see any kind of insects. The next thing what I've done is I have gotten rid of all the dry leaves. These are few of the dry leaves. There were some more that I've cleaned it up, because as I've said this earlier as well, whenever you tend to do any kind of repotting, always take this as an opportunity and clean off the dry leaves, because later on it's going to be a little difficult to clean. So this is the right time, because the succulents are exposed and you can see the dry leaves, and it's much easier to get rid of the dry leaves in this process. So now I have cleaned all the soil from the previous pot, and I'm going to quickly start putting them in this pot. Now even though this pot is really small, I do not want to overcrowd them, so I'm just going to put a few of them. I'm not going to overcrowd the succulents. As you can see, there is enough space. So now this kind of arrangement, I don't think I would require to repot for a really long time, so I'm going to leave enough space, because all of these are echeverias. Not all, but majority of them are echeverias. So I'm going to be keeping in mind, because echeverias tend to grow. When they start to grow, they tend to become very wide, so I need to have enough space for them. So this arrangement is going to last for a really long time, so I'm not much worried about it. And quickly I'll get rid of all the dust or any soil if it's present. And as usual, we are not going to water this pot right away. We will wait. Now this particular succulents, all these succulents are well hydrated, so I definitely do not need to water them right now. Probably after 4 or 5 days, I will do a little bit of bottom watering initially, and then do a regular watering after, probably whenever the soil tends to dry. So this is how the arrangement looks like right now. Pretty spacious. There is enough space for all the succulents to grow. This is the aguides. I did not have much space for the aguides. Now, as you all know that aguides tend to like a lot of light, so that's why I thought I'm going to plant this separately. This is one of my favorite aguides. This is aguides Christmas, if I'm not wrong. So I have given her an individual pot so that she can grow comfortably in this. And this is going to be put out in morning direct sunlight, and throughout the day I'm going to keep it in a location wherein it receives a good amount of light. So the arrangement that I have made with echeverias and graptoverias, I'm going to place them over here. Now this is the place wherein I tend to receive a good amount of morning direct sunlight. And this particular location, because these guys are still very stretched, so they do not receive a lot of direct sunlight. In fact, they just receive indirect sunlight until they are going to get compact. So this particular location only receives indirect light as they are still stretched. So I have to wait for them to get compact and then introduce them to morning direct sunlight. Whereas this spot is going to get morning direct sunlight. This part of the pavement gets a good amount of morning direct sunlight until 11:30 to 12 p.m. 12 noon. And these are some of my Ceraria letizia that I had kept as cuttings. Now I'm not very sure whether this is going to survive. This are all the Ceraria letizia. They're doing quite well. And I think these are champagnes. I'm not quite sure. These are Echeveria champagnes. I've completely lost track of what succulents I have, because they are all discolored and they have faded all the color, so it's very difficult to understand what are the succulents. But most probably these are Echeveria champagne, if I'm not wrong, and these are some more of Echeverias. So I'm pretty happy with this arrangement. It looks very colorful. Once it starts receiving morning direct sunlight, it's gonna get even more colorful. So there is a good balance of purples and greens, and very soon they will get colored. So I'm going to leave them as it is. Again, as I said, I'm not going to water it right away. Wait for 4 or 5 days. So as I said, one batch passes off, the next batch comes in. I do not like to leave my pots empty. So there were some propagations that were successful enough, and I moved them to this container. Now they are going to be in this container for a really long time. All of these are Graptoveria Marpin, but I'm not quite sure about the red one that's on the upper left hand side. I'm not quite sure which one was it. I'm not quite sure about this one. But rest all of them are Graptoveria Marpin. The mother leaf had dried off. So I separated the pups and I've put them in this pot. Now they are going to be in this thermocol box for at least maybe an year and a half, or till they reach a decent size, and then they will go in their individual pots. So in this way, I keep reusing all the containers. Whenever they tend to overgrow the pot, I tend to move them and then put in some other succulents. So guys, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.